Hi guys, it's Alicia from Providence Farmstead. I'm here at my friend Stefanie's house, and she's going to show me how to make some really cute seed package for the seed swap today. So she made me some coffee, which I'm enjoying, and we're going to get started. What are we going to do first?
You were going to tell me what we were doing first.
Okay, well, so she made several different kinds. They're super cute. With cardstock. And she used washi tape on these. They're super cute. But I really like, these are my favorite. These are recycled magazine pages that she made, and she quilts. So they are from quilting magazines, and they're so bright and colorful. So I really want to learn how to make these.
Okay. I just wanted to add that these ones are actually just printed paper, like you would get for scrapbooking.
Okay.
And then these ones are a lot thicker.
Oh, they are really thick.
These are thicker.
Okay.
This is just printed paper.
Okay.
And then as I was making these, because you're hosting a seed swap, and I was so excited to make my own, because why buy something when I have stuff laying around that I could use? Then I got to thinking, well, what about people who, even though I've gotten my scrapbook paper super cheap at Tuesday morning or on clearance at Walmart, wherever, even if people didn't have scrapbook paper or have access to clearance scrapbook paper, you can get newspapers, you could get just printer paper, you can use any paper, and these just happen to be paper from quilt magazines. Although a couple of these are thicker, kind of like the cardstock, because they were the cover.
I was gonna say this one feels almost like a cover.
Yeah, this is a cover of a quilt magazines, and these were actually art magazines that were given to me for free.
Okay.
Because a fellow quilter had them in storage for years. She called it insulation for her sewing room, and she was ready to get rid of that weight, that extra insulation. And so all of her friends went through the magazines for inspiration. You know, if we wanted to keep the whole magazine, we could. If we wanted to tear out pages, we could. And that's what I did. I just went through the box and tore out pages that I thought interesting. And I literally have had these random quilt pages sitting in a binder for years. Never knew what I was going to do with them until the other day when I was trying to think about ways you could use what's just laying around your house to make something creative and make it with minimal cost. So that's where these ones came from.
And I just want to point out real quick that I bought a box of these. Look how boring these are. Now, I do put my farm stamp on them, but they are just not as cool. So I was so excited when Stefanie showed me these.
But that's really the same concept as this.
Yeah.
That what we're going to show how to make these ones.
Okay.
That you could use plain paper, and if you have stamps and ink, you could make your own stamp. You could stamp it with a farm stamp, or you could just write on it with a marker or pen. There's lots of variety and ways that you can do it. So you want to do the paper one first?
Yes, they're so cute.
Okay, so this is an example of.
By the way, I am going to beg Stefanie to share some pictures of her quilts because she's amazing, and I will put those in because they are just really something.
You're too sweet. This is an example of just a picture of a quilt taken out of a quilt magazine. And this is the same one. So oftentimes for quilts, you'll have a bigger picture of the quilt that shows the overall picture, and then you have ones where it separates it into how you put it together. And so a lot of times you'll have multiple sizes of pictures in magazines, especially quilt magazines, but you could get a garden magazine. So here's just another example of a really cute quilt picture that you could use to make these. And so what I did was I actually found it's the same quilt in different kind of colorways.
Okay.
And so I thought this would be a really good one to use to show as an example.
So these are just perfect squares.
Basically a 4 1/4 inch square.
Okay.
And you'll see that first you're going to fold it in half.
Let me fold with you here.
Yeah. You fold it, well, diagonal.
Oh,
Diagonal.
but they're both pretty.
I know. You get to choose.
Okay.
So I folded diagonal to diagonal, and then you're gonna open it up, and then fold, so diagonal, diagonal,
Okay.
open it up, and then turn it and fold the other diagonal.
Okay.
Straight across, use your fingernail to flatten the line.
That's not much fingernail for me.
Wow, me neither.
Keep mine really short for farm stuff.
So now you have your
Okay.
square that has the crease from each diagonal all the way across.
Okay.
And now you're gonna take one diagonal
Okay.
and you're gonna fold it towards the middle and overlap that middle intersection.
Okay, about 1/4 inch it looks like.
Yeah, about 1/4 of an inch,
Okay.
1/2 an inch, whichever. It just is going to determine the size of your envelope better.
Okay.
The more you overlap, the smaller
The smaller it'll be.
the envelope will be. And that's where you have them overlapped about 1/4 of an inch from that center intersection. Now you're going to take whichever flap you want is going to be the bottom, and you're going to fold up.
Okay.
And you're going to fold it. This is going to, you're going to bring your fold up to where it kind of keeps your seeds in better.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So this is overlapping here, so that it folds up where that fold is.
It's not a,
I don't know how to
straight.
explain that.
I'll try to show in the
So-
video. So here, instead of just folding it right here at the corner of the edge, I folded it a little bit more on the straight. And that way, when it folds up, you can see there is some edge there that we can tape down to guarantee the seeds don't fall out.
Okay.
And now we take our tape,
Now we're gonna tape.
and you just want to tape from the corner, or the edge of that corner, all the way down.
Okay.
And then I just fold it over, because you don't want those seeds falling out. We work hard for those seeds.
That's right.
And you take both sides down, and you can cut off any excess that hangs over that you don't need. You can always just trim
But make
it.
sure you get it lined up, because I think my last piece might have been a little short.
But the beauty of the clear tape is
I
you
can add
just
more.
add more on, and you can't really see if it was messed up or not. Okay, so now it's taped, and you have the beginnings of a cute little envelope to put your seeds in. And then you can fold it down whatever size you really want it to be. You can fold it to where the next part, you can make it to where the tip comes all the way down. You can just make it to where the edge is right there in the middle. It's whatever your preference is.
This is my little flap.
And then it's ready for seeds.
So cute.
It's ready for seeds, and you just tape down the edge just like you would with the bottom part. And then you just, because these are so printed, I actually used a solid color little label. I took a label and I just cut it into little pieces. Just was like a shipping label. And I just cut it into little pieces because it doesn't need to be a huge label on your card. And that's one way you can use free paper to make a seed sharing packet.
Yay. These are going to be so adorable. I just love this. This is cute.
I fold it in half at the diagonal, crease the edge. It's not perfect, it's just how it is. You can cut it down if that bothers you. Do the opposite, corner to corner, crease. Now you have the creases in the paper to help you guide where you fold. You take one corner and you go past maybe 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch, past that center crease. Do the other side. Try to line up the creases if you can. I'm not sure exactly where the other one was. And now you have your beginnings of an envelope. Fold up the bottom. I like to leave a flat edge just because we're dealing with, the goal is seed saver envelopes. You can make it as perfect as you want. Now, you take tape, try to get it longer than your area, tape it down, fold over the corners, and then there should be no escaping seeds out of that edge. Do the other corner. That corner is totally taped off. Now you have a spot for seeds to go in. And then you just continue and do the same thing, taping off the top of the envelope once you insert your seeds. And you have a nice big open area on the other side where you can put your label, or you could put your label on this side if you wanted to.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's look at this one here.
This is just printed paper, and this one took me a little bit to figure out.
So this paper is still, you still find this like where your scrapbooking supplies are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's still in like the cardstock aisle. It's just a little thinner.
It's just paper.
I would say a little thicker than thinner paper, just a tad bit, but not as thick as cardstock.
So this one is 5 inches by 6 inches.
Okay.
And that's how you start. You have to have your ruler, you measure it out. I did it all ahead of time so it wouldn't take forever for us. But 5 inch by 6 inch rectangle. And then, I missed some. You're going to measure, I took some of my pieces and I accidentally folded them up already.
Oh,
You're going to measure 3/4 of an inch up and 1 3/4 inches over to make a grid out of your rectangle.
Okay.
So this grid, you go 3/4 of an inch up, draw a line all the way across, and I measured on 2 different sides, and then I matched the ruler from side to side to make sure my line was straight. 3/4 of an inch from the top, each side, ran the ruler, used the ruler to draw a line across, and then I measured 1/4 inch and 3/4 over on each side, ran my line up and down on those, and that's what creates this grid. Okay, and then from the grid, you know where to cut out.
Okay.
So that's where these X's are. You cut those pieces out,
Okay.
and you're left with this. So you can see that grid just helps you figure out where to cut your corners so you can fold it accurately and make a cute little envelope.
Okay.
So now we have this already done. You're gonna fold first on the long lines.
Okay.
I guess you would call that on the 5 inch length of the paper or the rectangle. And you're just gonna fold each one on the line, overlap. I glued mine with Elmer's glue, like a glue stick.
Okay.
But you can we're just gonna tape it because we have the tape here. I forgot to bring the glue stick. But you just wanna make sure it's fully secured top to bottom. I didn't get that one. Okay, so now it's not going to leak out any seeds. And then you can fold up the bottom.
Are you folding right on the line again, or are you coming up a little bit?
I came up just a little bit just because I don't want the edges, on the ones I made, once I got to this spot, I did notice that if you just take your scissors and eyeball it, you can cut a little triangle off each corner. And that way when you go to fold it, it just looks a little bit better and your corners aren't going to be hanging off your packet.
Okay.
If you were to fold it square like this, it's just for aesthetics. It's just to look a little bit cuter. But you could we'll just leave one straight.
Okay.
You can totally leave one, you can leave your corners straight. You don't have to cut little triangles off. And you just want to tape that edge all the way across. And if you're concerned about the corners,
You could put maybe a little more tape
you could
on
put more tape just on those corners, even though they're folded way up. You shouldn't have any seeds escaping there,
it. Okay.
just because we want to guarantee. You can just take more tape on those edges. And then you have your opening for the seeds.
So cute.
And then you just do the same thing. You just tape across. You could use washi tape. You can use a glue stick. Whatever you have available that you want to do. And then you just put your own just put a label. You could just write if it's not too dark.
Mm-hmm.
This one's probably too dark of a color. It'd be
pretty
harder
dark.
to see. But if your paper was lighter in color, you could just write on it with your pen.
Okay.
So that's just using printed
So
paper to make
Okay.
a seed packet. Seed sharing packet? What is it?
A seed envelope.
A seed
A
envelope.
seed envelope. Because, you may be making these for seed swap, or you could be making them just to put your seeds up at the
For
end of the year.
yourself. You
So-
save your own seeds and
Right.
you want something cute to store them in.
Exactly.
So that's how to use printed paper to make a seed envelope. Now we have these ones out of cardstock.
These are thicker.
They are much thicker.
It's cute grid paper. I'm guessing, was this Traveler's Journal?
This was something I got on
Strong?
clearance at
Okay.
Tuesday mornings. They look like they're tags. It says to and from,
Okay.
to here, from here.
These are cardstock embellishments. So if you've
Real
cardstocked or if you've scrapbooked, these would be like off to the side where you would put your writing and stuff. I
Right.
have a lot of these at home actually. So
Well, I didn't know what I was going to do with them when I bought them. I just thought they were cute
Yeah.
and super cheap. And when I was looking at what I could use to make seed envelopes, I thought, oh, well, this is already small. I don't have to cut it down too much like I did the
with the
magazine paper.
Okay.
You have to cut it way down to get the right size. These are already really small. So just to make this very simple, you don't have to do any, you don't have to pull out your ruler and measure anything. This is very easy. I just took these, I'll tell you the measurements, what they are.
They're
'cause
about the size. They're a little wider than a playing card. It looks like, doesn't it?
a little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
Yeah. If, say, you just had printed paper and you wanted to do this technique and you wanted to cut them to size. So 3 inches, about 3 inches wide and 4 inches long. Because these ones, some of them have a little printed edge on one
Mhm.
side, I use that as my guide on where
Okay.
to fold. So I just put the printed side on one side and took that little edge and I lined it up with the other piece, just like that. So I have this little flap folding lower than that. I'll give you the measurement. I didn't measure any of these when I did them. I just used that as my guide. It's about 3/4 of an inch of overlap, of overhang. And I just took that little, well, I gotta flip it. Okay, so what I did was I left the plain side on one side open for writing.
Good
So you don't
idea.
even have to do a label.
Right.
If you wanted a label, you already had your labels, you could have both sides printed. But what I did with these ones is I left one side solid print and I left the other side open with the grid so you could write on it. So I just, once again, I lined it up with that little printed edge and then I folded it. I folded it about 1/4 inch past the
Where they
folded
meet.
edge. So if you see here, I didn't fold right there where they meet. I
Mhm.
went past just a little bit because I wanted to make sure there weren't any seeds that could escape for whatever reason. I just wanted to make sure that
It's a good idea. Don't want to lose the seeds.
no. And because this is cardstock, it is thicker. You really want to take something to score that edge to make sure it stays down. The last thing you want is your tape to fail and
Ooh, that would
because
be
it's
bad.
fighting your. So I did have some washi tape. I did some with washi tape and the washi tape just wasn't strong enough.
Okay.
And it just kept popping the edge and I thought, well, washi tape, as cute as it was, maybe it's the type that I had. It was just maybe not a good quality. And I don't scrapbook. I just have stuff that I have bought on clearance. And I thought, well, someday I might be able to use this. So people who use scrapbook material tools regularly, they may know which ones are stronger than others. I don't. I don't know which ones are better than others. And so some of my washi tape didn't really take a good hold, and I thought, okay, well, we're just going to use regular tape.
Well, these are sticking really well, and I think it's so cute with the washi tape.
That washi tape did work a lot better than the first one I did. So now you have your edge folded up and secured. So you have the beginnings of an envelope, but the edges are still open and the top is still open. So now I did these ones with the colored washi tape.
It's a whole lot easier to see what she's doing with this because she's using the clear tape. So she has taped this edge here, and now she is going to tape along the edges here. And it looks to me like she just tried to line it up in the middle, and fold it over.
And some of these have a grid on them, so I just tried to line it up with the edge of the grid. So then it's a little bit longer on one side than the other, but the whole point is just to keep it closed. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing I do is ever perfect. Just good enough. I'm a just good enough type of person.
Well, I've seen your quilts. They're pretty perfect.
Don't look too hard because they're just good enough. So now we have the edges secured with the tape.
Okay.
And you're ready to fill it with seeds that you want to save for yourself or share with others.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is fold that flap over. Once again, I went about 1/4 of an inch past the edge just to guarantee nothing really falls out. If it were to work its way up that direction. Because,
You don't want to tape it yet, do you?
oh no, I don't.
Don't tape it yet?
Well, I was just going to show.
Okay.
That, let's see. So you can tape the edge all the way across, fold it over. It's clear tape, so you can't see where everything's being taped. And if you were concerned about those extra little edges, you can take more tape and just make sure it's nice and secure and nothing can fall out, and it's ready for whenever you're ready for
You're
it.
being serenaded by your phone.
Oh, is that my phone? I was like,
Not my phone. Okay. This was fun.
Yeah.
So, we started quilting together last winter, and it was in the plan to continue that this winter, but neither one of us has made that happen. It's mostly me. It's all me.
oh no, I haven't sewed. I haven't sewed either much.
Yes, but usually I come over here. So if I came over, I'm sure that
You would
we
make me do it.
We would, I'd be like, okay, we're sewing now. You don't get a choice.
Yeah.
But so this is nice because we haven't got to do anything together in a while. So
Like gardening is very therapeutic and relaxing. That was my first therapeutic outlet was sewing. That's what I used for my therapy before, but now I'm getting into gardening, so it's almost time to start seeds.
Yes.
And I'll be checking my little seedlings and see if they need water and if they need the light raised or lowered or whatever. And so it cuts
She's
into
better at
my
that than I am.
sewing. Cuts into my sewing time, but it's all for the same purpose of it's relaxing, it's fulfilling to see that you can grow something from the tiniest little seed and it becomes a plant and can feed your family. It's so exciting.
it is. So if you don't know and you are local, we are having a seed swap at the Clark County 4-H Fairgrounds on Saturday morning from 10 to 2. That's February 15th. And if you don't have seeds to swap, that's okay. There will be seeds to have, and there are also going to be some giveaways sponsored both by Providence Farmstead and Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So I sure hope to see you there. I'm pretty excited about it, and it's a family fair. If you want to bring your kids, please do. And we will catch you next time. Have a blessed week. Bye.